Hi, you guys. I'm super nervous, so I'm probably going to self-correct a bunch of times. And today I'll do my best to look at you and everything, myself too, as I'm talking, because I'm the only one here. But that's okay because I don't know if I could do this in front of people. I mean, I could. If people ask me questions or whatever in real life, I could answer them. It's just I never know what people want to know and what will convince people to the truth. So I even wrote, I've written a lot of things, and one of the things that I wrote was quite comical to me because when I went back and read it, I've been trying to find a way to get these words out to express to you guys, to my family, to everyone, even to myself, that, that I can hear supernaturally, and to quit denying it, because by denying it or omitting it, it I don't know. It's not like lying, but it's like negating the truth a little bit. Something. I'm not sure, but I have a lot of things to expose. And as you can see, I'm kind of uncomfortable, but I'm going to move my way through that. Because the things that I've experienced since the spring of 2020 are mind-boggling, you guys. As I listen to this it made my hair really flat. Sorry that I do that, but once I see it on the TV screen, it looks a little different. So, gotta be comfortable. Plus, you can see all the fuzzies and everything. What? Anyway, so the things that I have to say are really deep. They're embarrassing, but they're all true. Nobody wants to come and embarrass themselves. What I mean to say is, these truths, if you've watched any other videos, I was told of a plan. I met Prince Rogers Nelson when I passed away in 2010. When I have other videos on here where I talk about the story, but again, as I tell more, I get more. So I add to it. If it sounds redundant, I apologize. I don't think I could do this if I didn't repeat myself. Spring of 2020, you guys, I said it before, in Michigan, it was rainy, dark, heavy, oppressive. Here in Michigan in the spring of 2020, the rain, it made people cough. It made people run home from the local park. We ran with coats over our heads, and it was like choking people. It was like there was something in the rain. And, HARP and chemtrails and all that, but that's a different story. So what I mean to say is that dark, wintry spring 2020 weather came on, and I heard the words COVID-19 and social distancing, and my world just stopped. Like, looking back now at all the things that I did, I'll get into another time, or I do in my other videos. The writing. I started writing crazy. The song Breakdown, the song Breakdown came into my head, and with the words COVID-19 and the words social distancing, and the song itself was telling me to break down the NWO. My mind flashed back to when I first heard it in 2013 and told my family at Easter dinner that something was going to happen. And so anyway, with the writing and the things that started happening in 2020, in the weather, it was so like a person who isn't so strong spiritually or mentally like myself, like the stuff that I was experiencing would and could send somebody to the loony bin, but I've said before, know thyself. So I went to my Bible and my prayers and my knees and my face and God and worked it out, and then all these dates and letters and numbers and gematria and things started coming to me. I was able to decipher some days Hebrew. I could read a little bit, only in messages. I couldn't just open up a book and read Hebrew. That's not what I'm saying, but I would get messages, I'll explain later, and the Hebrew letters would make sense to me because if you view them a certain way, they can speak to you. It's like electric word life. I mean, it's forever, and that's a mighty long time. Anyway, those things were happening, and I started writing what I didn't know then, what I know now, were like Kabbalistic. Well, I knew a little bit. It was Kabbalistic tree of life and things like that, and trying to learn about the Sephirot and all kinds of things that I had never studied before in my whole entire life, except for a little bit in 2013. But when I say a person questions their sanity, you don't so much. I mean, I did because of all the writing. But not the Hebrew writing. It was the upside down, what I call mirror writing. Same like Da Vinci uses, it's upside down, kind of reverse, backwards writing. It's like repurposing, reusing, respelling. It's how the song Revelation says, from Hebrew, Greek, casting spells, through the language to English. It's like that. I've explained it elsewhere. When the songs are on, when I play them, which I constantly do, I know all the lyrics, but when I come here to talk to you, they just go right out of my head. So, wonder why. Anyway, you guys, so usually I come and I try to show you all these examples and stuff like that, but I don't have the technology. But boy, if I did, you would see the show of your life. You got to trust and believe. Anyway, you've heard this before if you've seen my videos, the song breakdown and other songs. I would write down lyrics, and then other words would come to me, and they would be written upside down and backwards, like to the album Artificial Age. Like there would be all kinds of messages in there. Black Rock Cliff, Hawaii, Maui, messages about Maui, messages about Tesla, messages about space, messages about Orion, messages that Prince Rogers Nelson was telling me that in these messages, which I have verifiable proof of, anybody ever wants to see them, and they will, that he was going to be under attack, like that he was. He started telling me in these messages, you guys, this is stuff that I've kind of alluded to before, but anyway, the writings and the videos and the hearings and the things that I was led to watch and hear, he told me about reincarnation, not only reincarnation, but reanimation. He told me that his soul, like, that song, is it Possessed, I think, and he's saying, someone's in my body, someone's in my body, like that. He told me that darker entities who wanted to like be him could, like, I don't know how, you guys, but like enter him and like take over him. But to do that he had to be on drugs, because it's painful and awful. And not only that, I've touched on before the fact that he's, I'm not exactly sure how it all breaks down, but he's not like fully human. Prince Rogers Nelson was like the last of his kind. He is an ancient soul who has been held on to for a very long time in the who killed Christ type situation. It's like who killed Prince, but it's his aura. He's told me these things. He found out a long time ago about the plan for the world, but he gave his soul anyway to tell me this and to tell it to you. But to stay alive and to be here and to do the music, he just subjected himself to all kinds of nonstop torture, physically, mentally, there's electrocution involved, which is why it's always said, what is plectrum electrum? It's why the Batman album talks about electric chair. It's why there's pads on the wrists and ankles. Plectrum electrum, it's electrocution because it's used for reanimation purposes and pain. If you research the Illuminati New World Order techniques, it was exposed during the trials, some gross, disgusting trials, even in the German trials there, I can't remember the name of it, where they would, electrocute and torture children past their pain limit and then bring them back with the use of drugs so they wouldn't pass out. But all that the government or anybody wants to cop to is MK Ultra. Oh, we tried the weed and we tried this for bio-ops and weapons of warfare, but then we didn't do anything. But yes, you did. Yes, you did. You did the biggest thing that you could ever do in the world, and that was the creator's essence, psyche, soul, creator, the purpose of him. That contractual duty is allowed the evil to utilize that because he had to, so that he could tell me this story. Now, when I passed in 2010, he told me all this. It's just hard to remember, and I didn't remember it until 2020 when all those other things started happening. So in the spring of 2020, not only were all those things happening, but I was being taught how to play Purple Rain. I had never touched a keyboard before, not like that. And I think it took 2 weeks to learn, and I played by chords, not note for note. I'm not saying I was him, but for a 49-year-old adult who had never played the keyboard before, I have, again, verifiable proof and such that I did. I thought because I knew the music so well and that I had been around music a lot that I just picked it up like that, but I know now that it was him. The videos are embarrassing. But anyway, they're good for, I think it's pretty cool for after 2 weeks and a month. But anyway, when all the other crazy stuff started happening, the upside down writing and all that stuff, and when he started telling me that, and when I say telling me, you guys, like my Google photo history, like I said, I knew when this was happening, or he shows me or tells me or makes me do these things. My Google history, photo history is like, it's going to make for a marvelous movie someday because I've kept really good, I have a hair on me somewhere. Sorry. I've kept really good track of this. And everything that I'm saying will be proven. So whether or not you believe me as you're listening to me, when it comes out, like it will, because it's the truth. And I'm not looking for glory. I'm trying to bring the glory to the creator. The one the world knows is Prince Rogers Nelson, that was exposed to me in 2010 when I died. He gave his soul so that we could understand who he was for a purpose. And his soul was used like a slave for music. That's why he said, I am music. It's why he could play all the instruments. It's why the lyrics are so deep. Now, if you think about, was it 40 years? 40 years that I'm just going to say Prince because it gets hard to say the full name, but there is Prince Rogers Nelson, and there was also a prince in the world, someone who wanted to be him, one of those entities that I talked about that can use the body or use the technology or use whatever it is that they have that we consider alien technology. Also, you guys, sometimes when you see my head nod yes like that, I did used to be in sales, so it is kind of a habit, but sometimes he does that for me. Like right now. It's getting really cool because the more truth I tell, the more I get, and it's really cool. And I have lots more to tell. But on the thing about King David and Prince, I didn't say King David yet, did I? Both for 40 years. COVID, when I first heard the words COVID, it sounded like David, COVID, David, same letters, just different vowels. And then also it said not only David, but it said the word COVID said to me. second coming of King David. That's what it kept saying. I have all kinds of writings that show that. And I was like, what? I would write second coming of Jesus Christ, second coming of King David, because I hadn't really studied Kabbalah or Judaism, and I didn't know that we don't use the name, like our country uses Jesus, that blank witnesses use that word, which is the vowels of the name that's not supposed to be spelled or not supposed to be said. Sorry. It's because he deserves better, and you don't get to say his name like that. But anyway, lost my train of thought. King David. What I wanted to say, 40-year reign from, let me look back here. You guys can't see because of the glare, but that's what it says. I'm going to tell you. From the year 970 to 1010. Okay, now, if you watch the other videos, you know the gematria is always coming and everything has a meaning. Well, 9 plus 7 is 16. Okay. 16, as I've discussed, is 1-6 or 6-1 or 1-9 upside down. Okay. 9 plus 7 is also, well, let me stay focused. 970 to 1010, King David reigned. So 9 plus 7 is 16. 10 plus 10 is 20. So what do you get when you add 20 and 16? You get the year 2016, right? When Prince died. Say it again. Look it up. King David reigned from 970 to the year 1010. Add 9 plus 7, it's 16. 10 plus 10 is 20. Okay. That's 2016. Now, 2016 to 2021 is 5 years. 16 plus 5 is 21. 21, as we've discussed, is the pi equation. It's the letter 5, number 5, or letter 5 is hey in the Hebrew alphabet. It means 5, or its counterpart is 5. And if you think back on the Oprah interview with Prince, when Oprah asked him what Maite called him, he said, hey. She calls me hey. There's a reason for all that. King David's name is also spelled Dalet. How is it spelled? I forget. Dalet, Vav Dalet, which is like 777, which also equals 21. And we've discussed this before in other videos, so I can't get all ensnared in that. But I wanted to show you, I wouldn't come here to say these things if they weren't shown to me or told to me. Like, as I said before, I made, when I would listen to the music, it would always help me to understand my Bible better. Not always by what was being said, but by what wasn't being said. I noticed that the Bible read the same way. So I've noticed that. So I wanted to mention that, you guys. If you missed it, rewind. I'm going to stop repeating myself. It eats up too much of my video time. So he was telling me these things and showing me these things, and I was documenting these things by way of the pictures and things. And I was having some very tripped out meditation times. I promised you embarrassment, so here's a couple, and get some more along the way. When I went into this trance, my son, was out of school, and I was not eating, sleeping, shaving. I had pens in my mouth and in each hand, and I was writing. Let me show you something. Oops. I don't know if you can see the grandeur of this over here. One moment. I want you to see something. I know I've showed you guys a little bit before, but this is every bit of it organized and documenting all the Hebrew, as well as the investigations, plural, of Prince, Rogers Nelson, and Prince. And then down there on the wall, as you can see, I hang, I do my studies. There's things about Maui, the Hebrew letters, the way that the social distancing started coming and being documented. So when I say, I'm never again going to come and apologize and say, I know some people think I'm crazy, because too bad. Don't come here and watch me if you think I'm crazy, because I'm awesome. The Creator is awesome, and you're awesome, and we're going to be awesome together. I'm coming here to light your fire. Anyway, you guys, he started telling me these things and showing me by way of the backwards, upside down writing. A lot of that is in there. All the, like I said, artificial age, I would write the lyrics and then he would tell me things in my head and then I would write them in the letters and everything would come out backwards and upside down. And they would have absolutely nothing to do with what I was writing or the lyrics, but they were messages about the government, the NWO, space, Tesla, Ben Franklin, electricity, Orion. Like I said, that he was being killed, that his soul was being used. And yeah, I was tripping for sure, because no, can I hear his voice? No. Did I was like, okay, well, this is either God or aliens or something to do with Prince. That's what I kept thinking to myself. Like, I knew him to be gone and but there was no way that having spent 37 years of my life listening and knowing, and, I knew that there had to be a connection. And of course I was excited, but I never thought that, it was going to go down this way. Modus operandi leaves a lot to be desired, but it sure is fun. Anyway, it's hard too, you guys, because I have some things to say. But I want to share something with you that I wrote. I've been getting the things together besides all that with the investigation, the Hebrew and all the things. Also, what I was doing was deciphering messages were being given to me about the Beautiful One's book, all kinds of things. So I was watching YouTube videos. One moment. I think I've discussed before that, the song Dolphin. If I came back as a dolphin, would you listen to me then? Would you let me be your friend? You can cut off all my fins, but to your ways I will not bend. Everybody's all like, what is he talking about? Well, he's talking about reincarnation, how he is the creator and he's like everything. And so without going too much further into that, when these things were happening to me and all these writings were coming into play, he exposed himself to me as everything, like a cuttlefish. That's what I drew a picture of. Like underwater creatures, like when I was reading the Beautiful One's book, I drew underwater coloring and did all kinds of and then I went up when I took my shower one day and I tried to breathe underwater too. I think I mentioned that before, but it's it was just a trip. I did weird ass things because when you trust and know yourself and that you're not crazy, you know what I mean, that it's cool, it's just cool. I wasn't trying to drown myself or anything. I was just trying to maybe be like him and breathe underwater. Be dolphins together. I don't know. But if you guys can understand maybe how hard these words are to say and how many different ways with the videos I'm trying to convince you of this truth, and there's more to say and there's more to come. If you understood how hard it was and how long I've been trying to get the words out, that's why I'm sharing these things because it helps me too. So hopefully you don't mind being read to. This one's real short. I wrote it on 9/18. It just says beautiful, strange. 2 words that sum up this life I've been experiencing for the last 5 months. Giving birth to these words is the hardest yet most fantastical thing I could ever imagine doing. It is especially difficult for me to explain because the story is never ending. It's constantly unraveling itself in front of my eyes. I have no greater desire than to share the truth of what is being told to me. I long to share it with everyone, and I seek only to enlighten and save as many people from the all-encompassing darkness that is being visited upon humankind. I am not here to claim any greater place with the Creator than the next person. I submitted my spirit to Him a long time ago. Therefore, He is the only judge. I'm simply trying to do His will because that's what I was entrusted with. That was my promise. I cannot maintain this silence any longer for fear that it will not be accepted. The true Savior walked this earth and showed miracles, and people still don't believe. We are given a choice to participate spiritually or not. The words I will share, they might sound foreign, comical, blasphemous, whatever. None of these possibilities negate my truth. My sincerest prayer is that you will all read these words, well, hear these words with the same seeking heart that was placed in you by our mutual Creator. It is important to me that you understand that I speak to you as a friend. I'm not here to judge anything that you have been taught or that you might think, and I hope that you do the same for me. When you receive a gift so great, you don't run to a room to hide it, you share it. I humbly submit myself to God's will by sharing this story. Those are the kind of things I write. And now here's another one. This one I want to, this is pretty cool, I think. I find these things and it's like I get to read them for the first time too. So it's kind of fun. And it goes along with the whole story. So, and I got to get it out there somehow. I'm trying to make books. It's going really well. It's just a lot of information. So this has to do with the time, the gatekeepers. If you watch the interviews back in the day, Prince would always refer to them as the gatekeepers, timekeepers, gatekeepers. They're the entities that were entrusted with certain responsibilities, but then took those responsibilities into their own evil hands. So anyway, this is what I wrote. The time that has been kept by evil has outweighed the time that they were supposed to keep because they're attempting to repeat time. They took the ultimate godly geometry from God and have been holding it kidnapped since then. Some of these things are kind of silly, but I try to read them as is. Keeping time until such a time as this. This has allowed a planetary window, black hole, call it what you like, that window is open. It allows spirits, souls to move about, talk, communicate, and be felt. For humans to either accept that they can ascend or descend. The ultimate plan is to trick believers of any kind, no matter the faith, into being so confused that they don't know who God is. But they all agree on one thing, and that is that there is an Antichrist. So when the Antichrist is projected up from Hawaii's highest mountaintop, Haleakala, with holograms, something Prince Rogers Nelson never wanted to be projected as, he called it evil, just as he did the elevator, the Vatican, Satan. That's what he was talking about. Nothing is because they've had him captive all these years under some sort of DMT or electronic hypnosis to use the energy and power that he was given by his father. Or that's what we call it, spelling. You ever think about why they call that drink, that coffee syrup drink, they call it lean, spelling. These things, they relate. Anyway. Prince used the word electric word life. Words can cast spells based on their mathematical geometry. The same way the universe was created, casting spells on you with the words. These words are backwards, forwards, and upside down. The ultimate plan is to get you to veil your human DNA with your masks. Your God-given DNA, because what they want you to do is to believe that they want you to believe someone is coming to save you. All the while, they plan on projecting Prince as the Antichrist and then showing video of all the bad things that they've done with that contractual essence or psyche spiritually. They use electricity to do these things, and that's why they execute serial killers. I put in here. It says so they can put that mentality into the electronic atmosphere, and that's what they're trying to recapture at CERN and everywhere else. People, you've got to listen. That's what that says. Now, I don't know if you listened or if you didn't listen. From what I said before I read that, you can tell that I'm telling the truth, always. CERN, if you're not familiar with CERN, was another thing that was exposed to me. CERN, over in Switzerland, in the Switzerland mountains. They talk about they're trying to recreate the God particle. Coincidence? Why would you want to recreate the God particle? Is it because you humans want to be God? Is it because you want to be something you're never meant to be, no matter how many justifications you want to make or what you want to call yourself? No, I want my creator and only my creator who created me to serve me, my body, my family. I don't want a man, even if he can save my life. Okay, it's not worth it to be enslaved by the NWO, and that's who they are, and that's what they are. The Vatican, the Kingdom Hall, that $80 million tax-free charity in Canada, all of them, they're all in this together. There is a plan. It involves electronics and electricity. It was told to me. They use suspension bridges, holograms, and plectrum electrum. When I died in 2010, one of the things that I was shown somehow in my thoughts or memories or whatever they are was that the one the world, knows, a little adorable, funky man. He showed me himself sitting in an electric chair with a, not just a mask like we're wearing these days. I'm not, and I wish you wouldn't. But anyway, he was wearing not just any old mask, but more like the kind that they use on like the executioner, or like, just because his human form was so and is so beautiful. They want to humiliate and take away as much as they can. Like I said, if what I'm saying sounds silly, go watch the movie Passion of the Christ and see how much compassion you feel for that man who you don't know. If you think those things are humiliating, you know nothing about humiliation. And anyway, that's one of the reasons I have never worn a mask, is because that was shown to me. And I can't think of much more humiliating, which is, think the S&M thing. It's all part of disguising who our creator was. And why do they want to disguise that? See, the others, when I say others, they are the ones, the KKK, the NWO, the ones that consider themselves holier than thou because I don't know what they've done, mixed themselves with like the creator's blood, or I don't know what they are, what they fancy themselves. I don't know, but they're evil. And CERN, they're trying to create the God particle over there because I believe CERN is an awful thing. They're trying to recreate the energy to use for the hologram to create. I hadn't heard about this when I first entered this time and space, but as this happened, I heard about Project Bluebeam. And, of course, the Wikipedias and stuff will write that off as a conspiracy like they do everything else that's true. Is some people a long time ago were talking about the same thing. And that was that the NWO was going to create a false second coming or something to scare people into this. And I was like, whoa. So then I felt less crazy talking about it with you guys, because I was like, okay, because in one of my writings, that's how I found it. In some of the writings where I go through, it actually said Project Bluebeam. And I was like, what is that? So then I Googled it. That's how he tells me things. But also, with that, anyway, the electricity, you guys, I don't know if that's something for now or later, or how often it happens or what happens. And I think I've said it in a video before, but I need you guys to think about it like this. Like the big guy, John Coffey in the Green Mile, how everybody thought he was evil because they caught him in a certain situation, but actually he had all that wonderful power and he was helping. It's that same way here, you guys. That's why in that one song on the Slaughterhouse or one of them CDs, it's on there. The Green Mile, it's in the background. It's the same way. It's just, it would only sound crazy because what's been sold in the world. And even if you don't know your Bible, maybe it doesn't sound crazy or weird, but it's true. And why wouldn't our great United States of America want us to know who our Creator is? Why is there a plan to disguise him? Or when in the spring of 2020, one of the other things that was being shown to me with the documentation is that I kept seeing, I mentioned this in my video the other day, all these things about Asia. And I love all human beings, all souls. So Asian friends, anybody, people, this is not a personal thing. This is a big country UN thing. Okay. I'm trying to save lives here. So I mean no harm by saying that. But I was told and shown that the World War III would be with Asia, and that they, as a country, were somehow, this was when I passed in 2010, as well as some visions and memories I've had since then and waking up in 2020, that they were somehow saving the United States financially, or that was going to be the story or something like that. And that's why Biden is talking about right now about the whole trillion, billion, gajillion, zillion dollars for the infrastructure. Look up the word infrastructure. Hey, you know what? Let's be evil. Let's put our whole nation to sleep like Rip Van Winkle. All right. Tell them to wear masks, hide their DNA, scare them half to death by telling them that their children are going to die at school and their grandmas, sisters, mothers, uncles, and everybody with wisdom and knowledge is going to be dead. Okay. And then what does that leave? It leaves the little children who are really programmable. Okay. So people like you and me who still have a Tech 9 in our head, our brains, you got to listen to what I'm saying, because I'm not coming here just for me. I'm coming here for the creator and you all. Anyway, Asia, you guys, they said that they, from the best of my memory, when I passed, I was told that they didn't or wouldn't accept the story the way it was, that the one the world knows as Prince Rogers Nelson was our creator, because it was too frou-frou or something weird or something that they couldn't sell, like with the Buddhism or whatever it was. They said that they couldn't have that in the next world to come. And so therefore the gatekeepers, there was a plan, and they decided that they might like to kill him or do away with him. However, trying to play Prince yourself. So when I passed away, he was telling me these things and showing me these things and all these planetary things up above, way up above. And I realize now it's not just heaven. It was like space. It was like we were on a spaceship. It's why Bone Thugs and Harmony sings Meet Me at the Crossroads. It's like the love symbol is like him. It's like space. It's like his limbs. It's like him. It's like everything. So he showed me all that stuff too. And so, sorry, I was there for a moment. Pull back. Sorry, you guys. He agreed when we were there, okay, because like he was getting so sick of humanity and the way that people are, humankind, they're supposed to be this loving society, and they just got all disgusting with power and greed and all the beautiful things that he gave us to live with and be with and everything like that. And so when I died, he told me he was just going to do away with us, and I was like, no, that's not fair. And then he showed me these truths and he told me these things that I'm telling you, and I said, well, you got to let me tell him. You got to let me warn him at least. And then there was a big argument with the angels and the entities and the gatekeepers. And then again, I was told that, that I was there that day, specifically July 20th, 2010, that I was there to hear those things because of who my soul is, who I'm not really sure who she is still. But whoever she is, she's very much attached, like as a soulmate, to Prince Rogers Nelson. Like, I don't really know how, because we're not even the same age, and like time and age and all that stuff doesn't exist because it's outside of that realm. But like, I think it's not because I'm special. It's because my soul that was inside of me agreed to certain things before I came here. And I gave my own soul. I gave my son Isaiah. Like when I was pregnant with him, I didn't even know I was pregnant, but God told me his name. He told me it was supposed to be Isaiah. He told me exactly what he was going to look like, and lots of other things about Isaiah. He told me he was like blessed in a very unique way, and that his soul, along with a lot of souls in my family, my pride lineage, our DNA, was somehow really strong or connected somehow to some old biblical King David lineage or something like that. And that's why I had so many people in my life like die or kill themselves or be affected by the opioid crisis that they call it in the world, which is a whole nother video in itself. Because our souls in my pride family were needed. And then when I was there, he showed me this plan. I said, let's do something about it. Don't like just end the world. Let's tell the people first and at least give them a chance to ascend with their souls or be better. So that when these things, God forbid, that happen bad, I think in every change in the world, Bob Dylan, change is going to come, or not Bob Dylan. See, I'm going to stop trying to do the lyrics. Anyway, change gonna come, Sam Cooke. You guys, it's the breakdown is because they didn't and couldn't sell a creator that way in the next universe. And I've said in the other videos, our souls are reincarnated. Like everybody tends to be really, really scared of death. Okay. But with this plan and this, you have to watch the other videos, but Hebrew New Year plan was 6,000 years. The 5781, the year that we were just in before Yom Kippur, turned to 5782. That equals 21 to 22. We're in the year 21, going into 22. I explained to you back there the 2016 plus 5 years, which is 2021. I explained that to you. I explained to you before that the pi 314 equation is opioid. It's pride. It's been a consistent, gargantuan, monumental breakdown of proportions that even I can't even wrap my mind around as I sit here. But I do remember being told and saying, how? It doesn't matter how, because this isn't about me. It doesn't matter how. The fact is that it's happening. The Creator knew that there was a plan, that the gatekeepers were trying to skirt time so that he could not enter his Sabbath rest, okay? That 7,000 year, that 1,000 years, and just rest and just be. They want to keep recycling that time over and over and over again, so there's nothing left. So why wouldn't he want to not do that? So I don't remember all the details of that plan, but when I was there in 2010, we came up and we talked about a different answer for that plan. And I believe that we took it to the gatekeepers, and I say we, you guys, because I was there, and how could I be deceased in this world? Like I overdosed on heroin, and I was dead on the floor. My lips, fingers, eyelids, everything were blue and turning purple, probably 7-8 minutes. I don't know how long you can be gone without actually dying or whatever, but I was. And so I was there, and all these things were happening, but they were outside of time. That's how I can experience them all. So anyway, after I was shown this awful plan for humankind in this World War III and to take and deceive little babies, the plan was to, with the air and people who have pre-existing conditions, who can't breathe and need respirators and things like that, there wouldn't be many of those left for society to have to care for after that. And then the younger generation, like my daughters who are in their 30s, 30, 32, and 34, with almost 9 blessed grandchildren between them, That generation, they tried to kill off with opioids, the crisis which brings us to the Prince Rogers Nelson investigation. I was told when I passed that the opioid, which is 9, 10, 11, which also equals 21, in gematria, opioid equals 9, 10, 11 equals 21. Chicken, winner, chicken dinner, Purdue chicken, opioid crisis. Watch the show Dope Sick on Hulu to see what I'm talking about. You know, when they play blackjack, they say, winner, chicken dinner. They say that because the Purdue Oxycontin crisis is talked about on Dope Sick. The pharma company is called Purdue. Also, there was the chicken company called Purdue, which they laughingly put in that movie. I think it was a great show. I think everybody should watch it to check out the other side, the truth of who's really responsible for the opioids being forced into the world to do away with an entire generation and to use our fine example as the father of that opioid crisis. Do you understand what I'm saying? The Pride family name was exposed to me that was being taken down, and I can't think of all the names right now, but you guys all rest in peace and we'll see you soon. So instead of ending the world the way that he said he was going to when I got there, we came up with a plan. Part of that plan included this, you guys. I'm probably going to do another video after this to talk about the investigation, because he knew on 4/21/2016, obviously, that they were coming for him. And nobody killed Prince Rogers Nelson in that aspect. The medical examiner's paper, as well as myself, and I was told, to the best of my understanding, that he ingested it himself because he knew that they were coming for him due to this plan that was made. I think. Pretty sure. And because as I've showed you guys before, in case you didn't see the other videos, not only all the gematria that I told you earlier and I've shown you in the other videos, 4/21/2016, 4 plus 2 is 6, 3 plus 3 is 6, and then here's another 6, which equals 666, okay? But in gematria, the way the letters and numbers work, it's also 09, 10, and 11, forward and backward. So this A, or excuse me, this 6, which can be an A. You see, I'm already ready to look at them upside down. This is 09, this is 10, and this one are 11, but the opioid and the ID repeat forward and backwards in the backwards writing. So everybody knows, and I watched in the other videos, the Prince Rogers Nelson as the DNA creator. I explain these gematria codes a lot better, so go check that one out. Opioid, it spells out the word opioid also. The 9, 10, and 11 carry down to OP, OI, OD. Do you see? So it also equals 21 plus 21, 33. When you add it that way, it's 33rd degree Mason, which is the Illuminati, NWO, Kingdom Hall, Vatican, KKK. It was a plan. So why is that, you guys? Because, again, let me remind you, these are some of the Hebrew vowels. Vav, Yud, Hey, and Aleph, okay? Those spell out the name of the creator that the Kingdom Hall uses that they're not supposed to use. The gematria of those spell out the same thing. The 19, 20, 21, 22. I'm skimming here, but I'm just trying to show you guys. It also spells out egg, 666, beast, elite lie, Alice in Wonderland. Alice is alchemy, It's all it is a game of cards. That's why Alice in Wonderland says it's all just cards. It's why they have that famous dog poster of them playing cards, because it's all a game. 21, the biggest, most famous game in the world. I'm very serious. Here's the other thing I came to say. Well, one moment. Well, when he told me this plan, basically I was told that there was, let me think. He was like, and I was like, well, you're the creator, can't we fix this? Can't, there has to be a way, there has to be a way, there has to be a way. But the thing is, this has been going on, this shitty world that we live in has been going on so long. His pain, his suffering, our suffering, yours and mine, humanity's. It's time to elevate, you guys. And to elevate, you have to change. And to change, you have to listen. If it doesn't change, well, it's going to change. What I'm saying is how you change or what you accept is going to be up to you. I was told that all the options, that there was like no more, except for me. I never take no for an answer. And especially when there's truth behind it. And I remember saying, what about this? And what about that? And there was no end to my what ifs. I was like a 3-year-old. But we came up with a plan. And that was that he told me this, that the great tree of life, it's why the Kabbalistic tree of life, it's why they say George Washington chopped down a cherry tree. It's always a tree. Mother Earth, a tree, it's always a tree. When he showed me himself as everything, as the universe, as everything, it was like a tree with like all these branches that just went to everywhere, like every single branch, every single fingertip, every star, everything, every drop of water. It was like he was touching it and he was part of it, which is why he can be in touch with me so easily, and you, and probably just can do whatever you want. But if your vessel is not clean or trying its best to be its cleanest, or doing all kinds of dirty things and not being true, you need to fix that. But I need to get back to the story. The story was that because, as I mentioned earlier, that my family has this, I don't know, lineage or soul or something, that I had told the creator, that I said, well, look, can I give my soul? Can I trade? Like, can I take the place? Can I do something? Because I've said it before, I would totally die and save everybody and make this world the place where animals romp together and babies don't starve and people don't shoot each other and, God forbid, all those things that we don't need to talk about, and trafficking and all this and that. And people don't stick needles in their arms and die in quality dairy bathrooms and on bridges and want to kill themselves. The suffering needs to end. And if I personally could end that suffering, that's what I said I would do. And he said, okay, we need that. And I was also told, that I was told things about my son that make me really uncomfortable to talk about. I was told that my son's soul will be needed at some point as well. My perfect 18-year-old son. But when you've seen the other side, which is why I was allowed to see it in 2010, is so that I wasn't scared, because the creator knows, because he created me, that if something would ever happen to my son, on top of all the things I've been through, that I might not feel like continuing on in life. And so I don't run the world, so I don't know if it will or it won't. But when I was there the day that I died, I heard that something might at some point, I don't know when, but I was allowed to like leave a recording for him. Like I was told that some things, and anyway, I got to leave him a recording, and to me, on the SOTT re-release of last September, my recording that I left for my son when I was there sounds reminiscent of that song that they play backwards. I can't remember the title of it. A Place in Heaven, maybe. There's a song that's done backwards on that, and that sounds like part of my message. Last year in the spring of 2020, he's telling me it is, which I knew it was. So I guess me saying that it kind of sounds like it is kind of like a little lie. So I'm going to try to quit doing that and omitting things. He told me that that was partially my message. It's hard to talk about because it involves the love of my life. But again, I've seen the other side, and if our souls could save the world, then so be it, because we belong to the Creator. Both of our names, Elizabeth as well as Isaiah, mean consecrated to God, so that's the way it is. I was told those things, and I was told also that if, from the best of my memory, that if my son, by like, I don't know if I experienced this in another lifetime or it's going to be this lifetime. That's the thing. So it's kind of weird and hard to talk about, but through my tears will open up like these gates in this universe type place that have never been opened up before, which was like one of the only ways to try to save the world or something. I know it sounds trippy, you guys. But also when he told me that that he had to let the gatekeepers kill him. I cried and cried and cried. And I still cry. But I think what he said was something like, I can't remember what I was going to say, but either I'm getting a message and I'm sorry, it's hard to decipher. I don't know exactly how it happened, you guys, or what happened, but maybe he just went missing until this year. I'm not really sure. I know I said earlier that the ME's paperwork says that he self-administered the fentanyl. I know that he was being drugged in order to use the essence and the psyche and different kind of things I didn't really touch on today. But on 4/30/21 of this year, that would be 431 with the sus2, like the purple rain chords. The date would be, I speak in gematria, it happens. 4/30/21 is 4321, but with the sus2, which is a skip 2, which is why his nickname was Skipper. Skip her, skip the female part, me. So on 4/30/21 in Meron, Israel, there was another sort of weird thing that woke me up, and I don't know how or in what kind of physical way it was done. The Creator tells me that like his essence or something might have been like there was a sacrifice type thing of some sort, real ugly, or I don't really know. I want to know. But when that happened on 4/30/21 of this year, it's why I made those videos. It's when I burned the t-shirts. It's when I did all those things because I couldn't hear the music the same anymore. He told me that his soul was going to come and live in me, like in a pregnant sort of way. And I mentioned that on the other video too, but again, the whole truth. I haven't taken a pregnancy test or anything like that, in case you're wondering, but I have put on about some weight. I told you all my daughters were pregnant at the same time this year. One gave birth in June, one's due in a week or so, and another one in January, and then I'll have 9 grandchildren. Through my daughter's experience, my body also has experienced being pregnant. And then, like, I hear these messages even more and more clear in the song Soul Sanctuary and all these things. Like, I'm pretty sure, I don't know how, because I'm just as human as you are, that I know of, that, like, he's here with me, and these miracles and these words and these things that I'm telling you are just going to get deeper and cooler and wiser by me exposing these truths to you, because I guess it shows my faith, which I have. Like, am I saying I'm pregnant and going to have Prince as a baby? No, that's not what I just said. I said that he needed a place to stay safe until the rest of the plan could be carried out. And I'm not giving away all the trade secrets right now. But what's the point, and what is this, and how does it affect you, you guys? The plan in the world is coming close. I don't want people to be frightened, but this is also what I'm hearing. Another one of the things that happened to me when I was woken last spring was, and I mentioned this before, there was some articles online, and they involved the military. It was on military.com, I believe, in April of 2020, on military.com. There was an article that talked about not only American military, but other militaries as well, having the need to train underground, because the wars were going to be different, the terrain was different, et cetera, et cetera. And during that article, they said that these militaries would need respirators, and this and that and the other, because what they were doing was using the whatever's sitting over on the ports on California, the empty containers, those containers, they were using those on the military.com website to train in. So whilst they were training in those to simulate underground activity, so they said, that's what they were using, was shipping containers. I went to go post that article a couple of days after I read it, because it was when all the whole world was coming in COVID and respirators and everything. And I went to go post that article. Well, lo and behold, the word respirator had been changed to self-held breathing apparatus. And I was like, what in the actual funk? The word was gone. But anyway, I kept the article, all the articles and all the pictures of the shipping containers that they were practicing their breathing in with all the respirators. It makes me extremely uncomfortable, you guys. Am I trying to be a prophetess or some sort of thing? I'm not trying to be anybody other than me, but I'm telling you, and he's telling me. It's like a Trojan horse sort of thing. I don't like it. I don't like the shipping containers sitting out there. They're saying they're trying to fine them $100 a day to get rid of them and to do this and to do that. I don't like it. It's like the Trojan horse situation, and I feel like there could be something going on with the World War III. And they don't expect people to complain about it much, because all they want to do is put out memes of people getting in the water to get their Christmas shopping done. Well, please don't. The Biden Build Back Better, think of that as lowercase b's. Build Back Better, lowercase b's, 666. They're trying to take all the money and leave us the faces on the mountain and the dirty sea. More Prince lyrics. Think about this. He says, was it Big City? The next close encounter. Tell me how long. Will it be on land near the water? Will it produce the sun or the black moon daughter? Pillow covered with all your tears, 1,000 light years away from here. He's trying to tell us these things, you guys, and I'm trying to tell you. Yes, I'm telling you that his soul stays with me, makes me feel pregnant like my daughters, talks to me, makes me laugh, dances me around my house, tells me things that I don't always like hearing, but that I can hear, showed me some glorious things from 2020 to 2021. Like I said on the other videos, things in the stars, things right at my door, things with my cats. I have pictures of me, all kinds of supernatural things. This video is getting kind of long, but before I go, I want to tell you guys an honest truth to part ways with. And this is where people are going to be like, whoa, that girl is crazy. But check this out. You have to imagine that my brain, my body, my thoughts, my aura were under, like, it's like sometimes it's like waking up one day on the Love Boat and then waking up the next day in the Twilight Zone, but I'm always in the same bed. So lo and behold, about June of last year, I believe, I started getting I started getting requests on like Instagram and Facebook. And for instance, let me give you a for instance. This is pretty important, so don't stop listening. For instance, I got messages on Instagram from somebody who told me he was Prince Harry, saying that I was really rich and that his mother, Princess Diana, had come to him and talked to him and told him that I was going to be me, that I was going to be something. And I was like, okay. And my son told me I was crazy, and then we checked the phone numbers and this and that and all, and then we just never really thought much about it. I had someone who, it wasn't The Rock, it was someone else. The other guy that's like The Rock. The other guy, I can't remember, Vin Diesel. That person contacted me on Instagram and said something. I had some people from other countries contacting me and sending me messages, and this is what I was touching on earlier. Some of the messages would come to me, and I could read messages within the messages in like a spy sort of way, like a decoding sort of way. And now I know it's like the Hebrew and the upside down and backwards, or whatever, mirror writing. So I would get messages which I feel led me to do things based on what I heard. I was watching YouTube videos, unsolved mystery type, not the one that we're all used to, but these things, and I would take down these crazy notes about missing persons, just all kinds of crazy stuff. You guys have to believe me. It's like the craziest awakening that you could possibly imagine. But I rolled with it. So I had these people contacting me, and one day I had somebody contact me on Instagram about, I took a screenshot from Graffiti Bridge at the end where all the people have after the Aurora gets hit by the car and all the people hold their hands up in the air. If you go look at my Instagram, Pride7702, you'll see it's laced with princely things and COVID things and all kinds of things that I was seeing and hearing. And anyway, after I posted that, someone got a hold of me and became my friend on Instagram. I don't really talk to strangers a lot, but this person, I've always relied on gut instinct, and my gut told me that it was okay to speak with them. So I did. There was not trillions, 20s of people that I didn't talk to, but there was a couple that I did because my instinct told me to. And I'm pretty private, and it was don't date. They weren't people that I was trying to do any of that with. It was just they was asking me questions about Prince. This particular person, this particular person called himself John Johnson. Easy name to remember, right? And he started asking about things about Prince, so I started answering the questions. On Instagram, you want to talk. But then I got to thinking, Old Man Johnson's Farm, John Johnson. It was kind of weird. It was, but it was cool. And he seemed to know things about me and things about Prince. And, I just figured I'd talk. He didn't seem to mean any harm. And like I said, he seemed to have some inside knowledge of me. And because of all the other supernatural things that I was experiencing, I just rolled with it. I thought in some way that it was like Prince at the time, which is kind of why I talked to him. Did he send me pictures? Did he expose himself to me as such? No. He sent me pictures of an overweight, balding type man who I wouldn't judge someone based on the way they looked. We talked about things, not about anything else. So you just have to understand that there's a supernatural aspect to what I heard and saw behind the scenes and in the messages and in the pictures. I can get deeper another time, but the video is getting long. So anyway, we talked as friends about Prince, and I told him a bit about how I always felt like Prince was God and this and that and the other. And he told me part of his testimony, and we talked for a year, as friends on Instagram. And sometimes we talked on the phone, this John Johnson. He even contacted my daughter and talked to her. Seemed like a nice guy. I think it was, I don't know if it was a couple weeks before or a couple weeks after my contact from him. I was contacted by someone who went by the name of, I'm not going to say that yet. William something. I'm not going to say the last name. He introduced himself as William, which I heard as Will I Am, which is I Am, which is the I Am. So he introduced himself to me as the one the world knows as Prince Rogers Nelson. He didn't say those words exactly, but the messages between us on the phone led me to believe that's who I was speaking to. And last time I said that out loud on one of my videos, this girl put at the bottom, "Girl, please." So I told you it would be embarrassing, but it is the truth. So for a year, from approximately June of 2020 to approximately May 7th, give or take, of this year, I was speaking to this person named John Johnson and this other person named William. And yes, you guys, the one that was William, the conversations that we had led me to believe that I was speaking to Prince Rogers Nelson in a different type realm. I can't tell you all the things that we talked about. It's not what I'm here for right now. But during those conversations with those people, like, people say, "Girl, you're crazy. I might not watch any more videos." But you guys, if you had the chance, wouldn't you? So I went with it, okay? And I had reason to. I was reading Hebrew. I was writing upside down, backwards letters. I was having pictures with supernatural things, which I've exposed in the other videos too. I'm looking forward to exposing more. I was being told that I was the spirit. I was having these visions, and all these things were happening to me to go with the phone calls. They weren't phone calls. They were mostly texts. All texts except for one time. And one time with the William person, I talked to him verbally. And did they have the Prince voice? No, because it's called a tone box. Okay. Anyway, I was under the impression, and I hope and pray to this day that like, I don't know, you guys, I don't know, honestly. I went with it at the time. There were pictures sent both ways. I sent pictures, he sent pictures, but they were not of him in that aspect. They, not like in the image of Prince, they were in the image of where you could see him as more like an alien and using a human form. Because the other, anyway, I can't get into that right now. I know some of the things I say, they sound like really trippy, but these supernatural spirits, the souls or whatever, they can use other deceased type bodies or souls or something as their shell, as their car, as their traveling purpose. And I was told when I passed that I would meet him in a different body. So, as crazy as these things sound, they're true. So, I sent pictures, selfies, things. Again, I want to say I thought I was under the impression I was sharing things with Prince Rogers Nelson. And for that, I sent videos and pictures and things that I'm not very proud of, things that I've never done in my life and would never do again. But when given the opportunity to participate in a fleshly and physical way, well, I did. And it's embarrassing, highly embarrassing. I'm sure most of you have done it, but that's why I make my videos not for children. One of the reasons. And I just want to say that I'm sorry. I did a lot of things that I wouldn't have done normally. And if those things come back to bite me, like for instance, in the Welcome to America's album that was put out recently, they say everybody in their whatever has a sex tape. Don't listen to that because it's not the real Prince anyway. But that's what the lyrics say. It made me think about some of the things that I had done. And, they say everything in the dark comes out into the light. And I figured, well, why not get ahead of it? Because I have faith that this story will come to its full fruition. I know it will. I know it's why I'm here talking to you. So if some of those things should come out, then I kind of remember being told in the heavenly place with the Creator, I said, well, everything I've done my entire life and everything you do your entire life is already seen and already known. So if you're taking pics or selfies or snapshots or doing things that you don't want to come out into the light, don't do them. I'm not saying sex is wrong. That's never what I'm going to say. I'm just saying that everything that you do is known anyway. So what I told the Creator was, well, everything I do is known anyway. So if somebody wants to see or watch or participate in this weird supernatural kind of way to get us where we're going, which is to a heavenly completion where the souls can elevate and all this knowledge can be useful to everybody, well, then I'll tell my dirty little secrets, okay? Because I'm not going to have anybody calling me something I'm not. I'm fierce, man. I'm fierce, and they're not going to win ever, you guys. I texted my Rabbi Rav drawer today and told him that I was feeling this overwhelming desire to come with these massive truths. And there was a show on TV called I Survived. It used to be a favorite show of mine, and people would go on there and tell these great, fantastical stories of these things that would happen to them. And if you would watch something like that and believe that, people can't do things like that unless something comes into their body and makes them do things like that. It's a supernatural world that we live in, you guys. It's paranormal. It's the entities, the Creator himself. It's paranormal. It's like the lyrics to Rope a Silicon. Go look up the lyrics. Silicon talks about the paranormal situation that you got into. Can I hip you? And then the lyrics go on. So talking about the dead fruit of Armageddon and all kinds of stuff. So the stuff I'm saying isn't so far-fetched or so crazy. It's just the truth. And the truth is always going to sound crazy. So I think an hour and 18 minutes is as long as it's gone. And I feel pretty brave for having done this. So I'm going to say thank you for watching. And please take me seriously. And on that note, I started doing this last night for all you investigation-heavy lovers. I started breaking it down last night. Why is there so many? Why does nobody know what's going on? As I said before, there's plural investigations. This folder is dedicated to 1601 12559 with no dashes. You can see right here on the side how all of the Prince files start with 16. What does it also look like? 19. 1-6. Opioid. 9, 10, 11. 9, 10, 11. I'm coming for you liars. I'm coming for Carver County, Jim Olson. I'm coming for the people that lied. This is just on file, this one. And I'm having great pleasure doing it because what they did is they took the suicide of Prince Rogers Nelson. They faxed that 1,200 pages over to Carver County on 4/21 at 9:13 p.m., 1,200 pages. And then they called that a different file. I haven't figured out which file exactly, but it's either 160- or 1600- or 16000-, or even the one that starts with 127000, which is belonging to the other agency. The others being the gatekeepers, the others being the ones that run Area 51, the others being the ones that I already informed you about. I'm not trying to get my channel cut, so please share this with as many people as you possibly can. New Year's Eve is 2022. It's also 31/21. The date will be December 31st, 2021, and we will be going into the year 2022. Another card, and it's 22. The Hebrew year just went from 21 to 22. When you subtract, you end up with the number 19, the 16. 6,000 years of creation minus 5781 equals 21, leaving 19. These are all coded for the Creator's name, okay? For the vowels of the name that we don't say. For the 21, the blackjack card name. For the Purdue chicken, for the Oxycontin breakdown. This is a plan, you guys. It's a plan. He told me, and I'm begging you to listen, and I'm thanking you for listening. And I get to see my grandkids today, a couple of them, so I'm super happy. I'm going to go share the video into the one I love the most. Come on, my cats! Bye, you guys.